Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a new segment that really is just going to concern itself with a recap on yesterday's events in Bournemouth. Nice of you to take a little look at this video, those of you who do, and I hope you've all had a good weekend and everything else. I certainly have, an encouraging one. No less. And surprisingly so, really. Surprising in the sense that, it appears that not everybody, on the outside at least, is acting necessarily how they're thinking within, right? Whether it's just people, for example, expressing their views a bit more openly now because they've been directly affected by things, or whether it's just because they're noticing others are as well. Don't know what it is. Mass awakening, I wouldn't go that far, but certainly there seems to be something happening whereby people are starting to be a bit more receptive to the idea that perhaps there's been a porky pie or two been said in the last 20 odd months. No kidding. Anyway, the essence of this video really is to give you a bit of feedback on yesterday, and also to express my gratitude and also my thanks to a load of people. And in fact, I'll do that first because the people are, of course, the most important in all of this, are they not? So yeah, without me actually naming names per se, because I'll end up, of course, forgetting, but I'd like to just generally thank everybody who was involved in the organising of yesterday's demo in Bournemouth that started at 1 p.m. at the town hall, and actually in essence got underway a bit later, not because of any flaws in organisational skills, but more to do with the fact that we had a better turnout than expected. And that was very encouraging. As soon as I started noticing that on approach to the town hall, yeah, we kind of knew we were going to be in for a good day. So anyway, we started a little bit late, but then we started at the monument, the war memorial that's just across the road from the town hall, because we had a bit more space there. So we decided to all kind of womble over there, where a couple of people did a bit of speaking. I did as well, but not really what I wanted to say. But that doesn't matter. It wasn't really about me as an individual, or anybody else for that matter as an individual. It was about the event and getting people together, and after such a long time as well, because as Sam rightly said, it's been about 9 or 10 months. So the nervousness and the slight anxiety that we were all experiencing before the demo actually really went into full flow yesterday was understandable, because I certainly felt it as well. Excitement, yes, but all the other feelings as well. A couple of unknowns amongst it all and stuff, but there always is. And I made this point on a video. I put out 2 parts yesterday, and they're basically videos of my live stream that I did on Facebook. And I mention it in there that I know that demos are not the end all and be all, or be all and end all, whichever way around you want to say it. I suppose it depends on which part of the globe you're on. But, that's not the answer to everything at all. Of course not. However, there are always opportune moments, as is the moment that we find ourselves in right now, where there is a shift in opinion. And the shift in opinion is definitely coming through direct experiences that people are having, as opposed to trying to win them over with arguments, right? Which has been the struggle that we've had now since I've been involved, which is September of last year. So a good 12, 14, 15 months or whatever. So, think about it like this, and I said this in the video as well. I'm not plugging in the video here, but it just reminded me of it. We've got an area of 500,000 people here in the 3 towns along this area. So Christchurch, Bournemouth and Poole. And yet we've only managed about 200, 250 people maximum in the demo up to now. That's not enough. But it's not enough in terms of that's not going to change anything. What I mean is, that there are people the awareness that people have is just not there, or there's no awareness, right? That there's something not right, basically, and again, we've said this all before, I'm going to repeat myself, but, it's quite hard work. London and those sorts of cities, they take care of themselves. But, I truly believe that, and we've had this conversation in the past, we need to start in our local communities and build from there. This is where it's at. It's your own front door. It's where you live. It's your shops. It's your colleagues. It's your family, friends, whatever, your local cafes, whatever it is. That's where it starts, So whilst we know you're not going to stop the juggernaut that is an agenda, what you can do is you can create pockets whereby you get as many people as possible on the same page, if you like. And it makes living within all this madness a little bit more bearable, maybe even more than that. So, just as a little disclaimer, I do not for one moment believe demos are the answer to everything. Absolutely not. But there are moments when they work, and this weekend, yesterday, was one of them. It most certainly did. The resonance was fantastic. Again, people of all shapes and sizes, backgrounds, genders, ethnicities, whatever the fashionable thing is to say nowadays. And it was lovely to see. The police took a very, very, very low profile role. And the vibe, as it were, was very, very good. And I'm sure that anybody who'll be watching this, who was there yesterday, would agree. And if not, why not? But anyway, so that was definitely encouraging, and looking at it like that, and from what I gleaned from yesterday, yes, I feel quite optimistic about it. Is that just sort of a little high that you get after an event that was successful? Yeah, as well. The relief factor and all that, it went well and this, that, and the other. But it also proved a lot of things. It proved that, there is never a need for a police presence. Yesterday was our biggest demo ever in Bournemouth. And we went through a couple of narrow places yesterday as well, where we had to literally stand around for 10 minutes until the crowd went past us. And there's proof of that. If you look at Mike James John, he posted a couple of things, and you can see it on I can't remember now, it was part 1, I think it is, where I'm stood at the bottom of a gangway literally waiting, and I ended up going the long way around, and then I nearly end up in bloody Ireland. But anyway, so, optimism, getting back to that point, from that point of view, most definitely. And, but it definitely proved a point that there's no need ever for the police presence, that they allegedly, whatever. It's just all nonsense. Again, but there we go. So I just wanted to mention that, so we know for future events that is the case, that everything else is literally just theatre and it's show, and nothing more than that, really, from the authorities. And intimidation, of course, which is actually at top of their list. Never mind the virtue signalling and all that sort of stuff. Don't know if I finished with negativities now. But anyway, so what else was I going to say on that? Well, special thanks, going back to the original point, for everybody who's involved in the organisation, and those who didn't manage to attend yesterday. You know who you are. You've always been, you guys have always been in and around the group, and creating initiatives elsewhere and partaking here, there, and everywhere. And sometimes you can't attend one or the other event. It happened to me a few times in the past as well, but it didn't go unnoticed. So there'll always, I should say, be a next time. It's not a competition as well, is it? We'll have a secret tally chart marking off the amount of demos we've been on. No, so anyway, and also we managed to get rid of all the newspapers pretty much as well. So we had lots of various issues of the Light newspaper that were handed out. We had an info desk where we had all this good stuff on offer. A lot of feedback regarding wanting newspapers in future. So that'll be another thing. I'll have to kind of get in touch with somebody about that, because I'll need more down here in the South Coast. I know personally of a couple of people who go to other meetups who themselves said the papers flew off the table when they took them there. So yeah, that would be another thing that we need to activate, and maybe even within the group or whatever, if there are any willing helpers who would like to share the responsibility and of course the pleasure of embracing a batch or two of newspapers in the short to medium future. Then maybe we can get our heads together and talk about logistics, as it were. That would be good as well. So there's a lot of things that we can up our game on, most certainly. Another thing I'd like to mention while we're talking about upping our game, and this is not a criticism at all, is that, again, yesterday I saw a heck of a lot of bystanders. So they are definitely people to have a look at and perhaps take under our wing a bit more in the future, although there were quite a few people I noticed were handing out leaflets and stuff like that and interacting. But bearing in mind it was the first demo back in many months, we were focusing sort of on making sure that it went smoothly and everything else, which it did, and everybody enjoyed it and everybody got home safely, I hope, I trust, and that is always key to all of that. Right, I flip-flopped enough now from pillar to post. Was it pole to pole? Keep forgetting. Anyway, those who know. That was about it. So it was really more of a thank you and a brief recap. I'm not going to go into all the details of individual conversations and stuff like that. There's plenty of footage out there. Like I say, we have a Facebook group and there are others as well, but Stand Up South Coast Facebook group, you can go on there. Look out for Mike James John, who has a YouTube channel as well, and he puts out stuff regarding the demos and everything else. Of course, big thanks to him as well. Instrumental in a lot of all of this, or a lot of all of this, or a lot of this, or maybe all of it, or none of it. Who knows? No, big thank you to Mike, and of course to Sam and CJ and Ray and Helen and Trish and Julie, who was absent, and see, I do end up naming names now. I've made that mistake, so I'm in trouble now because I'm gonna have to remember them all, and I haven't. See, there you go. Yeah, thank you to everybody. You all know who you are. There's many more, and I really look forward to the next one, and perhaps arranging a meetup as well might be another thing to think about. That's something that a friend of mine was mentioning to me. Bearing in mind what might be happening in the near future, because I don't know if you know, but there might be a lockdown. It might be also good to look at venues that aren't going to be affected by closing down and locking down for weeks on end or anything like that. But again, that's another story, just thinking out loud. Maybe food for thought for the future. Could be good to do that. Anyway, right, I'm waffling on for far too much now. It's 30 and odd minutes. So I'm going to call it a day or a night or an evening or whatever. And wish you all well. Have a good week. Get into your week well. Use an opportunity now that we know that the resonance is there. Now that we know that more and more people are kind of more open to this because of their direct experiences or indirect experiences or whatever within their families, friends, or cycles, whatever, circles, I should say, or workplace, whatever. There are people who are more paying attention a little bit more now. So use an opportunity. Don't comply, because it's that's got us here. Right, and always remember one thing. If they're lying about one thing, they're lying about it all. That is the way it is. And that's the way this is. No doubt about that. So on that note, it's good night from him. I managed to wrestle my chain back off him. He's not happy, but he's on camera, so that kind of equals it out for him. And it's good night from me. Talk to you all soon. Some of you sooner. Take care. Ta-ta for now. Bye-bye.